Actually, it was kind of the other way around. Like Napalm Death were really influenced by SOB.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, we're live. We're talking about SOB. Which came first, the SOB or the Napalm Death? Let's know in the comments. I think so too. Well, yes and no. You know, Napalm Death were around, but they weren't playing that kind of music at that time, right? They were on like the Crass records, like they were on,
it was like the more Killing Joke inspired Napalm.
Yeah, they were kind of a post-punk band back in the day. Hey, it's the waiting. It is the waiting. Don't worry, Paul. The waiting's over.
I don't see the comments. Oh, here we go.
There we
go. It's an funny cartoon font for us, for those who don't know.
Yeah. Hey, it's Friday night again. What are you listening to? What are you listening to? Simple question, but is it that simple? We'll find out. We've each got 5 records or more we've been listening to. We're gonna have a good time talking about them. Make yourselves known in the comments if you've got anything good to say. if we make
an AI bot, let us know.
We've covered the SOB reissues quite a bit now.
Before you got on, yeah.
Yes. Let's have a good time. Jeff and Sarah, it's good to see you again. Been a while. Scott, first time. Thanks for coming on. Good to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Could we pour one out for Finn McKenty, the punk rock NBA, who was retired from YouTube?
Oh, I heard it was all lies.
Go ahead. I don't know who they're talking about, but sure.
He is. There is a entire Spaz record about him.
Is that so?
I think it's the Spaz Gob split, where every song's about Finn McKenty.
That's that Finn.
Yeah, and so that Finn grew up to be a obnoxious YouTuber who did videos on bad metalcore and new metal.
When I heard the words obnoxious YouTuber, I felt targeted.
Yes. Yeah. Pour one out for Finn McKenty. Has gone up to the great content creator in the sky.
I do want to follow up on this now. But the thing is, I had to go through like a
happens to us all one day. That much we know. On that note, enough about death. Let's get on. That's okay. Show demonetized right away. I've used a bad word right.
Yeah, no swearing the first 10 minutes.
You said beer. You're a bit wrong there, my friend. As we all know, 'tis the season. 'Tis the season tonight.
No.
It is the Sparks poster in Jeff's room, isn't it? Yes. Bailey's and the Sparks. Nothing better. Okay. I've actually drunk most of this. I kind of got it for Christmas, but that was foolish.
It's Christmas season.
It's kind of Christmas. It's kind of Christmas. Anyway.
Christmas.
Cheers, everyone. Cheers.
Cheers.
It's going to be a great show. Let's get going, shall we? I'm gonna do my first pick.
After you had that milk.
Oh, you know what? I hate milk. Love Bailey's. Hate milk. There you go.
However you can make that milk work. Go ahead.
Hitler and this poor. Okay. Chicago. I thought I'd do this tonight. I was going to keep it to next week, but I thought, why not do this tonight? Chicago. Reissue.
Okay.
40-year anniversary of this record.
I'm like trying to do math, which is hard.
40 years. It's my first time owning this record. It's my first time hearing this record. It's my first time listening to this record. I mean, since I got it like a week and a half ago or so. It was expensive for me over here, but that's not their problem. That's mine and other economic issues. But I bought it. What am I talking about? Any guesses?
No.
I don't know. I'm interested. I want to sort of get everyone's take on this. I'm sure everyone here knows this record.
Well, I'm thinking it's the Effigies because they're doing stuff again.
Yeah.
There you go. It's the Effigies, Forever Grounded, 40th anniversary edition. The first thing you'll notice is they've like changed the artwork. I don't like it.
They're serious guys.
Yeah.
They are.
This is this is the inner sleep. That's kind of more like the original artwork, but it's still not quite the original artwork, I think.
No, I don't think. No.
It's not. It's kind of similar, but it's not the same. So it's not in here. You don't get the original artwork. I think someone was saying it's been kind of remixed a little bit. I don't know. I haven't heard the original, so I can't compare it with the original.
Yeah.
Just came out on BFD. So honestly, I like this record a lot, but it took me by surprise. I've got to say, I wasn't expecting. I was expecting something else, like something else. I thought it was going to be sort of more like hard edged, like a hard edged kind of Naked Reagan kind of a record, and it really is not.
Yeah.
The first listen that kind of threw me off guard a little bit. But I kind of like this. Played it again, then the songs kind of started to stick a little bit.
Yeah.
I really like the guitar tone. That's probably my favorite thing about the record. The metallic guitar tone. When I say metallic, I don't mean heavy metal. I mean kind of like sheet metal, guitar tone.
Guitar tone.
Great guitar tone. Yeah. But it's kind of way more kind of new wavy, post-punky than I thought it was going to be. But not a bad thing, to me. And I'm not really sure how this record is considered. I'm guessing people prefer the earlier stuff that came before this, right? That's kind of what Jordan was kind of saying too. But I've got. When did Where the Machine come out? Is that before this?
Yeah, I think so.
That was 85, I think.
Oh, really? Because that's
85 or 86.
Okay.
I'm not a native Chicagoan though. I'm
me either. None of us are actually.
Yeah. So you know what? I played it about 3, 4, or 5 times, and I like this record. I think it's great. I'm not sure how it was sort of received at the time. Jeff Bale in Maximum Rock and Roll said it was kind of too diverse in 1984. But yeah, definite Killing Joke influence. On some of the tracks, it's like staring you in the face, right? The kind of Killing Joke.
Which Killing Joke era influence?
I thought when I said that, someone might ask me that. So my first thought was like Nighttime, but Nighttime hadn't come out yet. So it would be like Revelations and Fire Dances, I think, would have been the two. I think it's not as caustic as the first 2 Killing Joke records. It sounds to me more like Revelations or Fire Dances. More like dancey,
Okay.
But I don't know. It's just I'm guessing. I don't know if they were influenced by those records or not. But anyway, great record. If you've not heard this before, it's worth picking up the reissue. I don't know how. You know what? You might be able to get an original for cheaper. I don't know. I don't know.
My guess is I don't know. It that might be another one that was that original. Was there a ton of that one? I don't know. I'm not sure.
I'm a total Effigies poser.
Me too.
Come on, you're expecting Effigy experts.
I mean, yeah, I feel like I like some of those, like the more like
the earlier
and that. So I've listened to it, but it's not something that I went back to listen to much.
I definitely would not have liked this at the time.
I wonder if I would like it more now than
I think you would. Because I was thinking, as I was listening, I was like, yeah, I would have hated this in like 1984 or 1994 and probably 2004 as well.
It was a tough sell till 2024.
I'm kind of ready for it now. It kind of almost does sound like a new record in a way. You know what I mean? With all the sort of post-punk boom and all that kind of stuff. So it kind of fits right in with what's going on now.
Awesome. Okay.
Good.
Well, I will keep my ear out.
Yeah, give it a go. Local band.
I can hear that was being reissued, but
Yeah, I feel like a weak Chicagoan because I know the song "Body Bag" by the Effigies, and that's it. That's the only song I know. It's a good song, but like
Strong Box. You don't know Below the Drop. You know those.
I
you heard them. You'd be like,
me living in Detroit for 35 years. Not knowing us more than one Negative Approach song. So yeah, I do not know many Effigy songs. So yeah, I pose.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, there's Dirty in Logan Square.
Hey.
So that's just
How you doing, Jim? Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is in 2024. This sounds good to my ears. So check it out.
It's being heavily promoted in Chicago. I can tell you that.
Is it really?
Reckless Records out of London and Chicago.
I have a lot to say about it.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah, good stuff. I'm enjoying it. So.
Well, thank you for starting with the Chicago one. I'm sorry.
I thought I'd keep it for this week.
Yeah. Sadly, we're all transplants, but you know, been here for a long time at this point, though. But yeah.
You guys are all too young to remember the Effigies, right?
No, I was actually like, I think I know more about like Violent Tumor than I do about like
Yes.
Naked Raygun or like
Yeah. I know more about Rights of the Accused, who are like a fourth and nth rate first gen hardcore band, like not particularly good, whereas I know next to nothing about an actual good band like the Effigies.
No, yeah, I went like way out of my way to get like a bootleg CD to hear Rights of the Accused, and like Naked Raygun and Effigies CDs were like being thrown at me practically, and I'd never had one.
Yeah, I know more about fucking Death by Deathstrike than I know about the Effigies. That's sad.
I'm probably the Effigies expert on the panel. All right, Jeff, what's your first pick?
Okay, so this is a record that I got because I way back ages ago, maybe when I was 13, there was this book called the Trouser Press Record Guide, where
I remember that.
That's the I learned about everybody from Icons of Filth to Killing Joke in that book. And I read about this record. It's a rock opera about a Nazi skinhead who murders a transgendered chef and steals his recipe book and then becomes wealthy by publishing it. I'm talking about Doug, the full-length album by the Coolies. Coolies from Atlanta. They're an Atlanta band. They are on DB Records, the same label that brought you Fetchin' Bones and Guadalcanal Diary and what's that, Pylon? Pylon was on that label too.
That's the first thing I recognized, even vaguely.
Oh, what?
That's the first thing I recognized, even vaguely.
Yeah. They were a they basically had all the Atlanta bands except REM, or all the Georgia bands except REM. So yeah, Pylon probably being the one that resonates the most today. Anyway, this is their first record. Is just an album of Simon and Garfunkel covers that sounds like they're all being done by a different SST Records band.
I want to hear that.
Well,
yeah, it's great. Their first, this record's called Doug. Their first record is called Dig, and yeah, like I said, it's Simon and Garfunkel covers that sound like they're being played by one hand it's Husker Du, then the Meat Puppets, and then any number of other kind of like mid 80s bands. And then this album, like I said, it's a rock opera. It comes with a comic book which tells the whole story about the skinhead. As you can see,
what
here.
year is this from?
87.
So
okay.
ahead of its time.
And the like I said, it's about a skinhead, about a Nazi skinhead, and the musical styles are like a time capsule from 1987. The first couple songs are kind of punkish, like they maybe sound like they could be mid-tempo songs on the second Fear album, maybe, or something like that. And then they get into the third song is called Pussy Cook, which is a complete reworking of Cookie Puss by the Beastie Boys. And that's about the transgender chef that the skinhead murders.
No.
And then the best song on the album, I think, is Cookbook, which just sounds like a late 60s Who song, like Bob O'Reilly or something like that, but about the cookbook that he stole from the chef. There's even a Zydeco rock song, because if you were around in 1987, you might remember The Walk of Life by Dire Straits.
Oh yeah.
Or
Oh, yeah.
Paper and Fire by John Cougar Mellencamp. That there's that time when all of America was Zydeco pilled. So they even have a Zydeco rock song. They have a song that sounds just like mid-period Replacements. They have a song that sounds like ZZ Top. They have a song that sounds like it's right off of the Miami Vice soundtrack.
Up and down with this description.
Wanted to include everyone is what I mean.
I haven't heard about this record. I was trying to look it up on Discogs real quick to see like what people are demanding for it.
That's not allowed.
Yeah,
I believe that. Yeah.
Okay, so
Surprisingly not.
It wraps up. The opera ends with a couple of Neil Young inspired songs and a John Lennon inspired ballad, and basically it's the story of a broke racist skinhead who hate crimes, a queer chef, steals his cookbook, and then becomes super rich off the cookbook, like an Anthony O'Brien, racist Anthony Bourdain or something like that. And then he inevitably becomes paranoid and worries that all of the chefs at restaurants he eat at are poisoning him because he's worried they found out that he killed the chef. And then he gets hooked on crack cocaine and stops eating, and then goes back to being a broke racist skinhead on the street.
Oh, yeah. I was hoping for a happy ending.
Yeah, and it comes with an entire comic book of this story. As you can see, he's a skinhead.
That's amazing.
He's a skinhead with the Pledge of Allegiance tattooed on his skull. This thing is just a genius record. Absolutely genius.
Wow,
and
I mean,
you can't find it anywhere other than for $2 on Discogs. It's barely on YouTube. It's not on any of the streaming services.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
it's got to be like a real audio experience listening to it on your record player. Like that's really it.
Yeah. If you can, it is probably going to cost you $9, including postage on Discogs if you live in America. Oh. Anyway, so yeah, that's the Coolies.
A Christmas present for you, Mike.
Yeah.
4 copies.
Oh.
You can buy
that was a great.
Where did you come across this? I'm just
Trouser Press Record Guide.
So you bought it based on that, yeah.
Yeah, way back when.
So I guess you had it since 88 or whenever that book came out, right?
I picked it up. I had their first record back in 1988. I picked this up some other after that, and then I got rid of it.
Pretty like in that time frame, within 5 years of that, probably.
Yeah, when I was in late middle school or early high school, and then I got rid of them. Then I just bought this back recently.
There's been 2 times in your life where you're like, I gotta get more of this.
A little bit of Doug back in my life. Very entertaining description of the record. Just that alone has kind of piqued my interest. Great.
A rock opera. It's hard not to pay attention.
It has that very 1987 sound, like the crazy gated reverb on the snare drum, like that sound. That Effigies record probably has that snare sound too.
Yeah, there's a through line.
There's a tie in to the Effigies with it. Yes.
Okay, that's all I got for Doug.
That's more than I ever could have wanted.
I feel like in 1988, if you're in Atlanta and B-52s and REM are they moved on and people are like, what's going on in your scene? And you gotta be like, there's this band Doug.
Well, it's the Coolies, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Coolies. Yeah. I keep thinking the name of the band is Doug. I don't know. The Coolies.
Yeah. That is
Hey, Sarah, top the Coolies.
Man, mine is not nearly. Mine only has 2 songs on it. First of all, so this is an Art of the Underground single series, volume 7. This is the Bayonets from Toronto, Dead End Kids, an American song, and this is really awesome. this band came to Chicago a lot when they were playing in the early 2000s. The Dead End Kids has like, you know, I don't want to say an Avengers vibe because it's not that aggro, but I feel like Zoe's voice does remind me of the Avengers a lot. And the songs are so fucking catchy. They're just really melodic and really great. And there's great backup vocals. It's like all the things that I really love in like a good punk song. And I was like trying to look up a little information because I couldn't remember much about Art of the Underground, but they did have this whole single series with lots of great records at that time. And it was a guy who was in Lemuria, did this label for a while. I don't think there's still a label, but I think they continue for quite a while. I mean, like to the mid aughts. But anyways, it's super great. You can like find some stuff online by them, but it's absolutely worth tracking down anything you can find from the Bayonets because they're just a really fucking fun and great band. But they have some substance. It's not just like poppy stuff. So that's my first pick.
Do they have like an LP or a singles collection record?
It's a 12-inch, right? There's like a 12-inch, isn't there?
So I think that they had a lot of 7 inches.
Okay.
I don't think that they had a 12-inch.
Okay.
I could be wrong about that. People in the comments could tell me.
Yes.
I don't know. Dave might know because I feel like maybe he play. Dave, who is often on the show, might have subbed in for them a few times.
Dave Brown?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or at least maybe he was in a band that came here with them, and I'm misremembering that. But I think that Bayonets were real good. They were great live. They were great live, Hazel. They were awesome. So much fun. Sometimes Zoe would play with no shoes on, which I always had. It hurt my feet to watch it, especially in nasty basements, but fucking great. They were always great. So
I just said that because I feel like I did see like on somewhere a Bayonets like 12-inch single. It could have been a dream. But I feel like I did. But let us know in the comments if they have.
We're Doomed. Was that maybe that was a 12-inch single? I can't remember now.
Okay. Let us know in the comments.
But I have it was funny. I went through and I have several 7 inches. And I actually had a 7-inch of that they did when they played in Chaos and Chaos that was like similar songs to a different 7-inch that they had. But I love the songs on this one a lot. So okay, there are 4 7 inches on the demo tape. No LP, see?
No,
okay.
no 7-inch collection on the 12-inch.
No. Hey, everybody out there, it's time for somebody to make someone to do what?
We can will it into being here.
Yes, yeah. Make it happen. Make it happen.
Yeah. I feel like there's enough people that would love this to make all their 7 inches a collection.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the singles collection, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
a lot of great
stuff. I mean, why not? Like, you know, it's time people can start doing collections of crap like that.
Yeah. I mean, if it's good, I don't think everything from that era needs a collection, but
no, I agree. But we're gonna have bloodstains across central Canada early 2000s.
Let's do it.
I never saw the Bayonets. I think that they did all their stuff when those horrible 2 years I lived in California.
It might have been.
I think so. Yeah, I think
it seems like that might be right. But
I would have seen them if I'd lived in Chicago. I'm sure.
Yeah, I feel like they played in Texas. They played in Chicago. I think they probably did stuff on the East Coast, but I think they maybe went to the West Coast once. I can't remember those details. I have a hard enough time remembering what time zone this starts in.
Your time. All right, Scott. What's your first pick? I'm excited.
Okay, well, this is going to be sort of my oddball off the wall one, but since Jeff mentioned Gated Snare,
this
is the record that started it all.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
Peter Gabriel solo record.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like not, in my normal wheelhouse, but this did start the whole gated drums sound of the 80s that everybody hated for a while. But it's one of those stories where it's like, oh, we accidentally hit something and we were like, oh, that's cool. And not like what actually happened was people with like endless studio time fucking around until they found something that was cool. But it's an awesome record. It's he was advised to see a therapist after it because it's so aggressive and weird. And I think if you like Swans or it's just got like a much harder edge, or even like Godflesh or something like that.
Mhm.
It's got that in it. Phil Collins is actually on drums, and he was not allowed to play cymbals at all. So it's just like a bunch of heavy toms and weird beats. But it's really cool. Kate Bush was in the studio and like got her ideas for how her drums would sound from it. And it's a standout record, like a real gem. And like I like Peter Gabriel in general, but this is like the one.
I agree. I think that's the best of that first like run of like 4 solo records. It's kind of moving away from the prog rock and kind of mellower stuff more. And yeah, it's like I think it was like him and a few other people were the only people that could afford like the Fairlight, which was like first like sampling technology. It was like it costs more than a house back then. Like he had one, then like Yellow Magic Orchestra already had one, so they were like the first band in the world to be making music with that thing, I think.
So this is a keyboard hooked up to a computer that he's talking about. So you can do sampling for the first time. So there's like the sound of shattering glass, and you can play with the keyboard, things like that were like completely brand new, and you had to be a Peter Gabriel or somebody to have access to that stuff.
Yeah.
So it like really made the sound of the 80s for better or worse, because like the Fairlight, the gated drums, plus having Phil Collins, all these people involved. But I think when I describe it that way, it sounds fucking awful, but it's a really good record.
It's funny though, because I think it's kind of like come around again, where it's like, that kind of 80s sound actually sounded pretty cool. Like, let's bring it back a little bit,
I think now that you got drenched in it, like it's a nice little treat to have instead of having every shitty song. Yeah.
Right.
The problem was that every band would use the same Fairlight samples on every song, the same damn orchestra strike every time, like that thing.
Dip.
And then drums, like live drums, got replaced with like the LM1 drum machine, which sounded like that.
Yeah.
So it just instantly everything sounded the same and boring because it was it wasn't a live drummer anymore. So it just like instantly evokes all these horrible things. And then this is I bought the reissue too because I couldn't remember if I had it or not. But this it's like remastered, and it actually takes a lot of. This is like a bad remastering job. Like there's a lot of times where like now things are just mastered so that they're like louder and smashed, and it takes away a lot of the like space from the record, unfortunately. Especially with those like huge gated drums that sound good on this record. So I don't know. I got them both. It's interesting.
Great record either way.
Yeah.
But get the OG if you can find it. Don't get that.
The OG, yeah.
I don't know over there, but that's kind of still like a pretty cheap record, like over here. Yeah.
The one time that I have commented on or like done a review for anything on Bandcamp, it was for that reissue, and I was like, you must find the original.
You get what you've been told again by us.
Did you get a lot of hate responses? No?
I don't think you're allowed to hate people on Bandcamp.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Cheers. That was a great round. Went by pretty quickly too. Round 2. I've got something new for round 2 out of Spain. Bilbao. I feel like most of the punk doesn't come from that city. It comes from other cities. Barcelona, Madrid, probably. This isn't. It's from Bilbao. I've been around for a while. It's their first. I like the fact that they actually called this a mini LP, and it's actually longer than a lot of bands like what they're calling LPs.
Yeah,
I thought that was like pretty honest to call it a mini LP. It's like 7 songs, but Spain, Discos Enfermos, pretty well loved label. First of all, I'm gonna get my tiny complaint about this record out of the way, and it's just a visual one. I don't like the way this record looks. It looks like this. It's a little messy to me. I don't know. It looks like a black metal record, but I don't like the logo. I don't like the way the photo kind of bleeds into the. But that's just a visual complaint. That's the only complaint I have about this record. Otherwise, it's a great record. The band is called Aihotz. The record's called Niebla Total, or Total Fog in English. That's a good name. Total Fog. Has anyone tired of the post-punk revival yet?
Every 5 years I get tired of it.
Let me try and sell you this record. Does kind of fall into the post-punk thing a bit, but it's also more hardcore. Like maybe half of the songs have a fast, like hardcore driving beat to them, which kind of sets it apart. They do have all the right pedals and stuff, that we need to be a post-punk band. But I really like the vocalist B. Her name's B. Her vocal performance it's almost like Eve Libertine from Crass a little bit. It's really in the high register, and she does a lot of I'm not going to try and do it, but there's a lot of kind of I almost did actually. I'm not going to, but these kind of really high pitched howls and yelps suddenly, and it kind of works really well. It's kind of spooky, scary atmosphere. It is very icy. It's from Spain. Okay. It's very icy and cold, and you could almost see someone saying there's a bit of black metal influences in this, but I think they're being steered in that direction by the look of the cover. I don't really think it's very black metal-y at all. I think it's very psychedelic, very dark, 80s UK anarcho-punk influences. The Rolling Toms, that's a technical term now, not tribal drums. It's the Rolling the Rolling Toms. And yeah, it's great. It's good songs, memorable. I really like it's like a kind of wordless vocal intro too, which is kind of cool.
Ooh, I'm intrigued by that.
Yeah, it's like a kind of 1.5 minute, 2 minute intro with these wordless sort of. Again, I almost did it. These kind of high pitch, do it,
come on.
Maybe at the end of the show, I'll bust it out. But it's the kind of yelping, howling, whatever you want to call it, almost yodeling, Eve Libertine style. Eve Libertine. Let's go with Eve Libertine. Let's go with that. That's a fair. Okay. That's a fair comparison. I did see it compared to Agent Orange and the Adolescents. The music part of it, I kind of can see what they're saying, but I don't think so. It's way colder than that. Yeah, it's a good band. Good record. I hadn't really seen it on. It's on my sort of sub list of the best of 2024. But I had a good time with this record. I think it's a good record in there. Yeah, good band. Aihotz. Total Fog.
I've not heard it, so I will check it out.
Check it out. It's on Bandcamp.
How does one spell that? Because I'm trying to read it.
Aihotz.
I actually got it wrong first. I thought it was A-L. It's A-I-H. Aihotz.
Okay, all right.
Aihotz. Niebla Total Fog. It kind of does look like a black metal record a little bit, right?
Yeah, it does.
It does, but
except the people in the picture don't look black metal at all.
Yeah, the back's kind of it's okay. I don't really like the record how it looks too much, but I like the record. Check it out on Bandcamp or if you like it.
Cool.
Buy it.
Awesome. All right.
Great.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear what you have now.
Yeah, so you put a lot of pressure on yourself with that first pick.
Which Black Opera are you going to bring us next?
This is another. I'm saving the big guns for last, maybe third. This is another record that I first learned about through the Trouser Press Record Guide way back in 1987 or 88 when I first got that, and I just noticed that there were they had nothing on Crass in the first edition of that record guide, but they did have a bunch of other anarcho-punk stuff in it, and that's where I first heard about this band, Flux Pink Indians. Strive Survive, causing least suffering. Well, very long title. Strive Survive, causing least suffering possible. Gorgeous LP jacket.
Yes.
Got the gatefold booklet. My crappy camera doesn't do it justice, but yeah,
it's great.
I think for my money, this is the best anarcho-punk record ever made. I think what Crass might have had in terms of originality, like coming up with the sound, I think Flux actually wrote better songs, and they took that same production style and I think made it sound even better. Just those super icy guitars, just treble knob cranked up all the way at almost I don't want to say gated snare sound, but extremely like treated snare sound that was on the rudimentary P9 stuff and the Crass stuff and this record. And like, this record just had, like, there's just so many catchy songs on it, like They Lie, We Die, Blinded by Science, Progress.
I was waiting for you to say that. When we first heard that song, because like it's kind of different. It's like way more like punk. Like most other like anarcho punk. So when we first heard that record, because we've been listening to like Blitz and on UK 82 stuff, we didn't kind of expect a song like that on an anarcho punk record. So we were like, this is amazing.
Such a fucking banger. Oh, that song is so good.
I mean, I love the whole genre. I love most of the stuff that came out on those labels around that time. But this one just stands way above the others, I think.
Yeah, it's one of the best. Yeah,
they were great songwriters, and it's a shame. I don't know if it's a shame, but like that they didn't do there was no intermediate step between this and the fucking Countries Like Bricks.
It just exactly.
It would be like if Crass went from Feeding the 5,000 to Yes Sir I Will, with nothing in between.
We need more of a sort of what's the name of the second Rudimentary P9 album?
Oh, Cacophony.
Even that's a little bit too left field for my taste, but like the next Flight record is way like so different, right? It's
Concrete. They just had that in Concrete Block or whatever. Somebody's gonna correct.
Uncarved Block.
Uncarved Block. Yes.
Yeah. Fucking Countries Like Pricks is basically like they're trying to do SPK meets Yes Sir I Will by Crass, and it's interesting. And Taking a Liberty, I think is actually a good record, where they actually did a pretty good noise record, and then Uncarved Block is like proto rave music or something like that.
But then they had the other band, Hotalashio, which is which did go in that direction, right? A bit later, but
I think you're right. Like, I feel like they just nailed it. Like the production is perfect. Like every song is catchy. It's all like exactly what it's supposed to be. And then I'm sure they just were like, well, we can't do that again.
Yeah, it's kind of where do you go from there, right? It's like,
you
want to do that again, or it's hard, right? But I went to see him. I went to see Crass and Flux Pink Indians together in Exeter. I want to say it's like late 1983.
Okay,
it was too late. They were already not playing the good songs. So I wasn't a very memorable. It kind of sounds very memorable on paper, but it was not enjoyable for me. No.
Bummer. Sorry.
Like, just a few months too late. A year is a lot when you're young, so just a little bit too late. So
that would have been right when Crass was on the way out too, I would imagine.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
That's cool though. I would still like to see that though. But crazy.
Like when you're sort of 17, it was a bit boring. Do you know what I mean? Like,
no, I was showing up to a Crash show and they played that, I would be very pissed off.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense.
Uncarved Block is the second best Flux LP. I agree.
Yeah. One of the big travesties is that these Flux record Strive to Survive got reissued, and Fucking Cunts got reissued too by One Little Indian, and they were reissued with no inserts and just no gatefold or anything, as what's just seemed like a cash grab when the Sugar Cubes blew up.
Right.
People
might. It's because One Little Indian, as it was called, was started by the Colin or one of the guys from Indians, right? So
I really puts things out now and then. So I mean I think he still enjoys music at least as much as grabbing cash. So it might be what they could do at the time.
They've kind of gone back to putting out things like Bad Breeding now, right? So they sort of come back.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Classic.
Awesome. Oh, I love them. Oh, so great. All right. I'm going to do another 7-inch. Is that cool?
Go ahead. Cool. Oh,
nice.
I love this band. So pretty recently I booked a band from Spain called Flash. And also I think somebody talked about that record on here. And also what is Spawn's new band? The Ejaculators. They were great. And this lovely band called CB Radio Gorgeous, who's kind of been on a bit of a hiatus, and they were able to jump on the show, thankfully. This is a 7-inch. They are currently working on an LP, but just talk about just a really fucking terrific band. Everyone in this band is such a good fucking player. Everyone is so fucking talented. And yet they just play this super catchy punk music. You know, I love the way this sounds. I love the way they recorded it. Matt, their guitar player, has incredibly good taste. Rachel, thank you. You know, these songs are, I think these might have been on a demo, and I think they had a tape after this, but I'm really, really hoping that an LP pops out soon because they are incredibly great. Yeah, I could go on and talk about how much I love this band, but I would just say, please look this up and please listen to it. It's just great punk stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, it is great live. Like, they are one of the most fun. I feel like
So good.
there are a lot more bands with sort of like charismatic front women like that in Chicago. That's like a little subgenre, but they're so good and so fun, and everybody's into it and fun to watch.
Yeah, and I feel like their new songs just sound just even more dialed in, if that's even possible than this, because this is great. I think this is on Not Normal, which is in local Chicago label. But I would just encourage you all to please check this out if you haven't. They actually played a bunch of shows with Bikini Kill. And from what I heard, I definitely heard this from more than one person. They blew away Bikini Kill multiple occasions, which I believe. So
yeah, and all the other bands that the members are in are really good too.
Well, yeah, I think so. The guitar player was in Negative Scanner. The drummer has been in like every band, every hardcore band, every band. Just
there's one band called Dianetics, and something about the drumming on two drums is Dianetics.
Yeah.
I forgot. Yes, Dianetics.
Yeah, they said the guitar player is ex Dianetics.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Jeff drummed the Dianetics.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was,
okay.
My band in 2016 and 2017.
Yes.
There you go. I did buy a Negative Scanner LP show and been enjoying it a lot.
Yeah, it's so great. So Jeff is going to be. You want?
I have a new band with the singer of Negative Scanner.
Oh,
which where Scott's going to be recording us.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good news.
So that'll be hitting the band camps or wherever sometime in the new year.
Nice. Oh, that's great, man. Nice. Cool.
It's a small world in Chicago.
All right.
Okay, stop.
All right. This is Hometown Heroes of Mine. You guys see? This is the Screaming Mimes.
Oh, yeah.
The Screaming Mimes.
Sure.
So there weren't many bands from St. Louis, like Killed by Death punk bands, and there were even less specifically from Ferguson, Missouri, which is like
wow.
budding. Yeah, very specific. So they and I both lived in Ferguson, and this is like, I guess, like when you look at the Discogs, stuff wasn't released till later, but they were playing in like the late 70s, early 80s. It is so dumb in the best way. It's like very Killed by Death, like a lot of improvised songs, kind of doing like not Wu-Tang style skits, but little bits in between stuff, and continued doing records forever. It was just a lot of like just fucking around, but it's all like it's a lot of catchy, just like, hey, we found a catchy little line, let's sing it crap. And the records are not expensive. They're not very hard to find. if you like stupid kill by death kind of stuff, this is it, and you'll like it. The art is great. It's done by the main songwriter who
Put it up a little closer.
Yes. And to the
it's like very
The dog. I like that. Push it over this way. There's a cat and a dog. Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
I just wrecked my whole desk setup here, but he was just like a janitor at a school, and sorry, I keep doing that. I have a whole drum set set up here.
That's the recording room.
Yeah, it's the recording room.
YouTube room.
But yeah, I just when you're you know, like lunch ladies would be like, "You gonna do a record again?" And you'd be like, "You know what? Maybe I will." And like 2004. Yeah.
Nice.
And some friends of mine reissue their tapes. There's a million things out there. Drunks with Guns was St. Louis. I don't have a lot that I want to say about them. I'll put it that way. No, I mean, it's just like there's a lot of regrettable stuff about St. Louis. Like having the Welders were a fucking really great punk band.
Did you say the Welders?
The Welders, yeah.
Oh, yes.
They're fucking awesome. So everybody should remember St. Louis for the Welders and not like Drunks with Guns and White Pride and the other.
Yeah, White Pride. Yeah. I remember. I read Flipside magazine in the late 80s and early 90s. I remember that White Pride record.
Yeah, I mean there were other things in the 90s like Ultraman and stuff like that who were not, you know, not named White Pride. But yeah, I think Drunks with Guns are playing again. They had some other bands and stuff like that, but it wasn't all about stuff I don't think I can say on YouTube without getting us banned in the St. Louis scene. Yes, Whopper Stays Good was from there too, I think. There was like that whole like the 80s scene was like way gone. Even in the 90s, and it was not cool or fun for a long time. There's a lot of like, you know, power electronics and noise and crap like that came out of it, and math rock, which might be even worse. Yeah, a lot of noise rock.
Ultraman.
Yeah, their records are like very available if you want to hear them. You can. But that was a little bit later on.
Wasn't Ultraman kind of like a sort of more a Sam I Am kind of melodic hardcore band?
Yeah, I mean they were very much like, you know, could have been on a Fat Records comp or something like that.
Okay,
not in the worst way.
Right.
And you know they were all cool. I don't have anything bad to say about them. Yeah,
cool.
But that was a little bit later on. Screaming Mimes were like the only that I know of kind of like just dumb, catchy punk killed by death band from the late 70s, early 80s. And they were specifically from Ferguson. There was like two guys in a basement with a 4-track.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Good enough. Ferguson is known for more than just the police murder now.
Yeah, that's the other thing. We got to get away from power electronics and police murders if we can.
Yeah.
Let's bring back some other parts. The other parts.
You know what? Compilation albums. They're kind of tough to talk about a little bit because you kind of think, well, do I have to talk about every band on the compilation? And sometimes there's a lot of bands, so I often tend to not show compilation albums. I'm determined to show this one because I'm so happy to get it. Brasil. I've known about and been a fan of Brazilian punk and hardcore and metal, of course, since the 80s. I did not know, and probably until actually this year, got to keep it real, probably until this year, that there was a whole other kind of punk going on in Brazil in the 80s, and I've kind of been blown away by like how good and different it is to sort of European post-punk from the time. For the most part, it's very, very different. I guess my entry was the Mercenarias Records, who did Sarah show one of their records, maybe.
Me?
No. Okay, but I definitely found out about them because of this show. Amazing, like post-punk band from Sao Paulo, and I was chuffed to get this compilation on Soul Jazz Records.
Oh, nice.
Yes,
Ooh,
The Sexual Life of the Savages, underground post-punk from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Soul Jazz Records came out in 2005. Man, it's like there's so much variation on this, and some of it maybe like in Europe we might not call it post-punk, but it's great music. There's a sort of undercurrent of, and I'm not exaggerating, there really is like an undercurrent of sort of bossa nova and samba and like other traditional Brazilian music, like bubbling under the surface, and sometimes it comes like right to the forefront. It's like, man, that's like a fucking really dark like samba or bossa nova song, man. But like, I mean, Mercenarius is the first band on this record. I hadn't heard of any other bands on here except that band and Fellini, who I like a lot. I've got a collection album by Fellini, who are a really, really good like post-punk band. The other bands I'd not heard of: Gang 90, Chance, Patif, Gueto, Now, Smack, Muzak, Cabini, C. I hadn't heard of any of these bands, but it works like so well as a compilation. So much variety, so different, as I said, to like Western like post-punk of the era. Really good record. It kind of it goes all over the place. Like some of it's very commercial and danceable, some of it's very experimental. There's like synths, there's sort of ethereal stuff, there's almost funky, herky-jerky kind of Gang 4 stuff, plus the sort of traditional Brazilian music in there as well. Great collection. Great comp.
Is any era of Killing Joke represented on that?
You know what? I can't hear any Killing Joke at all. That's the funny thing. It sounds completely different for the most part to what any kind of European like post-punk, which is the beauty of it. It's like when you hear Mexican punk, you don't want to hear a Mexican punk band that sounds like Bad Religion. You want to hear a Mexican punk band that sounds like a Mexican punk band. So all these bands. There was one band in particular, and it's very hard to pronounce. It's Akira S. As Garotos Que Eraram, which means Akira S. and the Girls Who Fucked Up is the name of the band. They have an album out on Barato Afins Records, which put out a lot of.
Say it again. The
name of the band.
Sorry. I'm just like, well, you know what? Never mind. I'll look up the record.
If you look up this record, you'll see the name of the band.
I agree with YLFC Records here. Soul Jazz is like an amazing record label, and like I recently got a few compilations like that, and it's kind of hard to whatever. You go to their website, you have to get an account, which usually would annoy me so much. I would just be like, fuck off, I have enough accounts. But everything on there is so good. I was like, you know what? I will have an account on here.
Oh, really?
That's great. Like they have so many good compilations. Even like I got a British punk and an American punk compilation and whatever stuff I was buying, and heard new, really good stuff that I had never heard before somehow. Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
it's like well-trodden territory, and I was still, like, but that's not the only one. Like, all of the compilations are, like, spot on, like, so impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that is the name of the group I was trying to. They have an LP out on the record label I just said. Barato Afins. So, they put out Ratos de Pará records back in the day. Brazilian punk as well, but I did see Soul Jazz is great. I've been lucky to find them used in record stores over here, so that's how I picked up most of the sort of Soul Jazz stuff. But there was a little bit of I saw a couple of complaints, like all of this stuff has been already released on other compilations before, but back in like 1985 in Brazil, which are hard to get. So you're going to have a much better chance of getting this than you are of those older.
Yeah.
Now Sao Paulo was the kind of famous Brazilian post-punk compilations, but they come out in like 1985. It's going to be sort of harder to find those than
that's the thing. It's great to find just a good, somebody who will compile stuff well, so I don't have to dig through. Sorry, I'm not going to find the great Brazilian comps on my own.
No, I mean, I just sort of. There's a few bands on here that I want to find their LPs or singles by. They're that good, Yeah, nice quality, good liner notes, sounds good. Brazilian post-punk, massive scene. So it seems.
I'm also doing a comp, and I am going to struggle with trying to describe it all. But yeah,
If it's like
I am very interested in that one.
If it's just like 4 bands, it's not bad. But if it's like 20 bands, it's like kind of hard to describe every band.
Okay.
All right. Oh, Jeff.
What's
your next pick?
This would be a record from Mike's time in the UK. I would imagine. maybe a bit on
1950.
I thought that was insulting, or I don't know what that was.
This is not so. This was never in the Trouser Press record guide. This is a band that I think I first heard members of this band or a member of this band in the band Health Hazard or One by One. Those were bands that were around when I was first getting into hardcore. But this is Pleasant Valley Children. Fuck, Kill, Destroy.
Nice.
So I don't know too much about the people in this band. I know it's Sned, who was in Blood Robots and Generic and Health Hazard and One by One. And then a bunch of bands after that, Boxed In, and who knows how many other bands. But this is basically maybe a extremely Black Flag inspired record.
Yeah.
Extreme. So it sounds like a Britcore band from the late 80s probably went to see Black Flag on the Loose Nut tour or whatever in the UK. or My War, and got really into that, and then did their best stab at the mid-period Black Flag sound. It's really good. They do a really good job. It's legitimately heavy, and they even got the producer of the first couple of Rollins band records in the first interview, Jeff Clout, who so it actually sounds like a Black Flag or Rollins band record. And I think I first heard them on the Earth Rapers and Hellraisers double 7-inch that Hippie Corps put out. It was the song Fuck, Kill, Destroy. And it was like, that song is just brutal, like crazy song. And when I got this, I was not expecting it to sound so much like Black Flag. I thought it would be more, not grindcore, but kind of more over the top, like the title song is. But yeah, it's like
it's good. It's a really good record.
Yeah, the songs. It's got songs about typical stuff that you'd expect. But then there's a song about the maybe Scott will remember the name of this guy. It was the guy who was dosed by the CIA in the early 50s as part of MK Ultra, and he jumped out of a hotel window. Frank
allegedly jumped.
Frank what?
I don't.
I fucking we watched a TV show about this. What was the fucking Netflix show?
Anyway, so back in 1989 or whenever this record came out, they had a song about that incident, which was how I learned about it. Which that's some added value to an LP. You learn about a historical event from your own country that you never knew about.
Yeah,
and it's on the fairly short-lived Words of Warning label.
Words of Warning got very successful because they had that band. I knew I'd forget the name.
Blaggers, right?
And they had the Blaggers, and they also had another band who are now called Skindred, but were called another band at the time. Both those
Frank
bands.
Olsen, yeah.
Frank Olsen.
Yeah, that's the guy. Frank Olsen.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
So this is one of the tougher to find records in the extended Snediverse, as somebody said it.
So
this record was like next to impossible for me. I had to order it directly from Words of Warning because they did not have a distributor in the U.S.
Okay.
At the time, so I had to mail order this all the way from the UK back then.
Well, they were sort of a local label. They were over the border in Wales. I saw that band a couple of times as well. Tim was in the Brooks is in the comments listing all the bands that are ever on that festival. But they were the singer. The singer had another band after that is even more like Black Flag, next level.
Bug-eyed.
What's that?
Was it Bug-eyed? Was
That's
that
it.
the name of it? Yeah, yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So I saw Pleasant Valley Children a couple of times, and I found like the singer had this sort of Sid from CCM vibe going on, but confrontational.
He sounds a lot like the guy from
yeah.
CCM were also extremely Black Flag inspired.
It's kind of like that. It's kind of like the British CCM in a way.
Yeah.
The Welsh CCM.
Yeah, that's great. It's a really good record from, I don't really pull out too many records from back then and listen to them, except for this. It's not like I'm going to take out the, second or third Oi Polloi record and listen to it. I'm not going to listen to In Defense of Our Earth, the one with Anarcho Pie. I'm not going to play that album ever again. But I will
play, a slice of.
I will play Field Day.
I was trying to fit Anarcho Pie into that couplet that we would talk.
The next time you make Anarcho Pie,
yes. All right. Yes, they weren't Welsh. God, see, thanks. They were from Leeds. I guess I only ever saw them at TJ's in Newport. That's why I thought they were Welsh. All right, nice. All right, so.
I'm going to talk about somebody who's from Leeds right now.
Who?
Leeds.
Yeah. Total Con. Oh, wait.
Total Con.
Yeah. Total Con. This is a relatively new band. I think this is a 2024 release. Look at me having a 2024 release. There is also this one, which is also awesome. This one's called Kill Someone You Hate. And this is just 11 song demo or something. Anyways, so this is a solo project from Bobby Cole, who you may know from The Annihilated, if you've heard of that band from the UK. So I believe that he does everything except maybe some guitar solos on these, and a troubadour of hardcore punk. I'm just going to go out and say it. I have read online that, the first comparison is White Cross, which I agree with. That's totally correct and true. But I just fucking love these. They sound so raw. They sound so good. I'm going to talk a little bit about this one. Kind of a twofer. I don't know. Maybe a little bit. Somebody else can talk about that other one later. It'll be fine. So Bobby plays in like 100 bands, just like every young person does. But this record this tape has so many great fucking songs on it. And there's so many nods to so many good things that like old people will enjoy. I hate to say it that way, but also like, shout out, there he is. Hey, Bobby, thank you for watching.
I was like, is that the guy you were just talking about?
Bobby's here. Yeah. I'm gonna just say so much about like there is a song on here called Go to War, which has like an intro from St. Vitus, which how do you not go wrong with a fucking St. Vitus intro? War is our destiny. I mean, we all know it. It's crazy. It's great. And also I think there's a song called Number, and they do the whole intro from Working Man from Rush. And it's just like, it's fucking perfect. And so we went to the Unlawful Assembly Fest back in October, which I just have to have a shout out because I feel like it was kind of a like, what are you listening to field trip? Because so many people that have been on and have talked on this show were there. And if I didn't get really stoned, I would have taken a picture of all of us because there was a lot of No, it was fucking great. No, it was not awkward. Well, maybe because I was stoned, it wasn't awkward. Maybe if I would have been not stoned, but it was awesome. The bands were all incredible, but I feel like Total Con might have been my favorite band that I saw at that. And they were every band, banger, 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 banger. I think that they're just, when you think about White Cross or when you think about these like hardcore bands of like that era, everything about this is good. Every lead is good. Every fucking drum fill is good. The way that the phrasing in every song is good. Bobby's voice is fucking great. It's just, I can't say enough good stuff about this. So I want to remember. So I believe that they're going to play in Newcastle on January 11th. Maybe anyways, you can look it up on the internet. It's funny because they do a cover of Upright Citizens and it says, Google it. If you don't know, Google it. And I was like, yes. Google it. It's great. This is great. Please check it out. They will have a 7-inch coming out on Unlawful Assembly in 2025, I think.
Great.
Awesome. And if you get the chance to see them, go see it because they're sort of a scab band of half UK, half Unlawful Assembly Milwaukee guys who are ringers, and it's fucking awesome. Gotcha. Please see it.
Nice. That doesn't happen often where the person you're talking about suddenly pops up.
I loved it. Thank you, Bobby.
Nice.
Yeah,
I hope I did it justice. I was trying to be complimentary because I loved it. So
11 PM is a great label that's like pretty exciting and
so good. So much, everything out there is good. Their taste level, very high.
Good stuff. Yeah. Well, since you mentioned Upright Citizens, I was trying to decide what to grab next. This is a great German record, Hansaplast. I mean, just a great band.
Yes.
I mean, I don't always look to Germany for great punk. I'm not gonna lie, but this and they have like a 7-inch after it. Are so freaking good. Hansaplast is the name of it, and it's just I don't know. It's very overlooked. Like I saw this record like 4 or 5 times before I was finally like willing to give it a shot, and it's world class, even though they're from Germany.
It's okay.
I don't understand any of the German, but it's catchy enough that I can sing along a little bit. Great riffs, you know, like high energy, fun, female vocals, fun stuff.
What's the name of that record again? Nice. Can we have another quick look at it?
Yeah.
So I can
Hansaplast.
Put my glasses on.
Hansaplast.
Hansaplast.
Yes.
It just says 2 LP.
There's saxophone on it. That might not really sell you, but I promise it's good. This one's 2023, and then they have a 7-inch after that. But yeah, I don't know. I have a bunch of. I didn't really decide my top 5, so I'm just going on vibes. And when I heard Upright Citizens, I was like, oh, here we go. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. All right, you did send that to us, and I need to like go back and listen.
Okay,
so,
yes. I love German punk. There's still so much I haven't checked out, but
this is Obvarts. Are they German?
Yeah.
There is good punk from Germany, but yeah, it's not what I think of. Like Upright Citizens, I love. You know, I don't know. There's probably other stuff.
There's a lot of bands from Germany. A lot.
Yeah.
Sick.
Nice. Hansaplast. Beautiful. Everyone seems to like it too. So that's a double LP reissue 2023.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Beautiful. Okay, I wish I'd shown this one earlier because there's a lot of difficult pronunciation.
The more dailies you have, the harder it gets. Yes.
Maybe I'll get around that.
That's why I try to have an in between everyone.
Finland. Yes. I'm going to Finland. I'm sure, just as I have, everybody has been wondering, what is Nosso-punk? You might have seen it talked about a little bit in recent years. It's kind of this, I don't know if it's new or not, but you'll see it every now and again. That band, Taini Pa from Finland. Do you know those guys?
Okay. Yes, I've heard of them from you.
They are like textbook Nosso-punk. What is Nosso?
Nosso, N-A-S-O.
It's N-O-S-S-O, but apparently it's pronounced Nesse or something like that because it's got 2 umlauts on the thing.
Yeah.
So, But
Mhm.
what is it? Well, apparently it's like, basically it's just like very sort of poppy punk, but a little bit amateurish,
Mhm.
a little bit ramshackle, maybe some mistakes in the
Little punk.
just so
Little
punk,
punk.
basically. Yes.
Are we talking like punk?
So apparently it's only wimp punk. Yes, perhaps. Apparently you can only be from Finland and play this style of music. That's the rule.
I see.
So I bought this record. I've already got a couple of other records by this band, and I like them. They have a new record out on, here we go, Hiljaiset Levyt, which is quite a well-known Finnish label. Punk Lurex is the name of the band.
Oh, I thought you said lyrics.
Punk Lurex. Punk Lurex. They used to be called Punk Lurex OK. They've been around for a long time. It's funny, Jordan said that years ago when they were in Tampere, the band he was in at the time would have played with them, and he kind of remembered it when I mentioned this band.
Okay.
So they've been around for a while. So I was gonna say like this is a Nosso punk record, but apparently it isn't. So I didn't really need to talk about Nosso punk. This is not Nosso punk. This is just like punk. Female vocals. There's some like saxophone in here. There's kind of like a couple of styles they do. They do like the sort of slower 77 style punk, and then they do the sort of slightly faster punk that could almost be on Epitaph Records. You know what I mean? Like sort of like Accidente and kind of bands like that do. I like the slower like punk songs more, but the other songs are great too. Super catchy, little bit sort of ramshackle. The singer's like voice is very close up to the microphone. She kind of sings a lot of the lyrics, the punk lyrics, and great band, great record. I like their other records, so I was kind of happy they got a new record out.
It's
brand new, yeah, from this year. I think it's their first record in a long time. One of the members is wearing an Urban Waste t-shirt. There you go. Back. Can't see what the members are wearing.
They've been around since Jordan's band played Finland,
and maybe even before that.
Yeah, okay, that's a long time ago.
Old school.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because last month, I think it was last month, I went to see TV Smith from the Adverts.
Oh, yeah.
He's doing this very DIY tour of Japan, playing all the small towns, traveling around by himself.
That's awesome.
We met him and he was a lovely guy. But his backing band for that tour was the Rough Kids. The Rough Kids from LA, who are a great punk band. And they were the perfect band for him. They kind of nailed the Advert songs. So as I was kind of like looking up punk lyrics, I kind of scrolled down and lo and behold, TV Smith did a record with this band. Yeah,
oh,
wow.
And
I was like, it makes sense because they have that kind of like slightly thin, like trebly kind of ramshackle, like punk rock sound, and it totally makes sense that like Smith chose this band to record with. They did like just 1 7-inch, and it's like a couple of Advert songs and 2 or 3 of their own songs. That came out like 24 years ago, though. That's pretty old, right? But totally made sense. It was like right at the bottom of the Discogs thing. I was like, oh, now it kind of makes sense. Like their style of punk they recorded with TV Smith makes total sense. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, about Nosso punk. It's not important.
No, I remember you talked about that other band, which I have written down.
Are you thinking of like T. Kerry? Is that the band you're thinking of?
I don't know. I just have 12 lists of fucking things that people talk about on the show.
Yeah.
I listen to every once in a while.
Because I thought that T. Kerry were Nosso punk, but Luke, he's my Nosso punk French correspondent. He told me that they're not. They're not.
You in the know.
But the other band, Tainy Pa, are.
Tainy Pa is the one.
Okay,
that
they are Nosso punk, apparently. So there you go. Anyway, Punk Lyrics, great band, punk rock. There you go.
I keep hearing punk lyrics, and I'm like,
British
punk
lyrics. It's good to have a whole new thing of like a whole new little subgenre to check out.
Only Finnish, only like kind of ramshackle 77 style pop punk.
Until now, I can be the first one to bring it over.
Yeah,
it's the next. Let's get in ahead of the game. But apparently, it's been around since the 80s, so we're late to the party. All right, Jeff, what's your fourth pick?
Fourth pick is maybe not as ridiculous as the Cooley's Doug, but getting there. This is a Britain via Brussels punk group from the late 70s. They wrote a couple, at least one very famous song. I'm talking of Elton Motello, Victim of Time.
Nice.
I believe it's.
I don't know that I know this.
I believe it's four British guys who moved to Belgium for some reason. I think there's a connection to the Damned, but I'm not sure what. I know very little about this band, but I know that they are English and that the backing track for this is the same as Plastic Bertrand's.
Oh, okay.
Basically, Plastic Bertrand overdubbed his vocals on their tracks. And but this album, even though the Plastic Bertrand versions of some of the songs are way more well known, this is a great album in its own right.
Like La Plan Mama.
Yeah, Jet Boy Jet Girl is the Motello version, and the title song "Victim of Time" is amazing. It's like a kind of glammy punk song with a horn section and a Ramon, like a definitely Ramones tribute in it, and it's hard to really say exactly where they land on the late 70s punk spectrum because there's like some pretty glammy material, some very punk material. It's all very, I don't know if you want to say sophomoric or dumb. Some of the song titles are Artificial Insemination, with that insemination spelled wrong.
Yeah.
How do you know it's spelled wrong?
There's a song called Teen Pimp. Yep, Teen Pimp.
Interesting. I did not know that it was some people from Raxola in the band too. I did not know that. Wow.
Okay. Yeah, it's there's definitely some filler on it, like they cover Pipeline by the Ventures. And great fucking record. For some reason, it only came out in Canada, New Zealand, Yugoslavia, and Australia. And this is the Canadian pressing on Attic Records. I got this for $1 at Dr. Disc in Windsor, Ontario.
You did. The corner's cut. You're in trouble.
This is a dollar bin record in Canada. You can find this anywhere. And I think Rachel says it qualifies as fake punk. Definitely.
That's like one of your favorite genres, Jeff. So
this is one of the best fake punk records ever. And
when you found it for $1, were you like, "Oh my god"? Or did you know what it was?
Yes. Yes. A Canadian friend of mine had put several tracks of this on a tape for me, like when I was in high school, and then maybe 15 years later, I found this in Windsor, Ontario for $1, and I was very, very excited. And
I cannot pass this up.
And then but it's fairly common in Australia. You can find it there, and I imagine it's all over Belgium too.
So someone from Big Fairies is in on this?
That's
Get out!
wild.
I love
Then
that.
it cannot be fake punk in that case.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
We got Raxola and
Yeah.
Big Fairies involved.
Yeah. That's
Now-
just like, how is that a $1 bin record? That's crazy
Everybody-
business. No.
Everybody should see what's written on the back. Remember, virginity causes cancer, so give it up.
That feels consistent with Big Fairies and everything. I feel like
This
that's okay.
it's a very like I said, extremely stupid record.
I've only heard like the hits. I have not heard the entire record, and it's as it's meant to be. But,
great LP. Pogo Pogo is another great song on it, and I think Plastic Bertrand does that one too.
Yeah.
But Elton Motello, Victim of Time.
Nice.
One of the best dollar bin scores or strictly Belgian, Canadian, New Zealand, Australia releases ever.
I like the idea of you like sitting down with that to like really get in all the depths of the entire record.
Yeah.
I would expect nothing less of Jeff, honestly.
there you go. That's another damn sort of connection there.
That was the Damned connection. I knew there was a Damned connection.
Okay, nice. Awesome.
Beautiful.
Cool. All
right. Sarah, what's your next pick?
I have a Zamrock.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Wait, I'm trying to like make sure I get it all the way in. It's like hard to see. Chrissy Zebi Tembo. This is just a really fucking great record. I don't even really remember where I heard about this the first time. Somebody posted about it, I think. You know, I don't know a lot about this, so anyone that can help out, that would be awesome. I believe he was the drummer in the Ngozi family for a lot of recordings. But this is his solo record where he plays drums and sings, and I fucking love it. So Paul Ngozi from Ngozi family plays guitar in this, which is so fuzzed out and just tremendously perfect. I mean, I was talking to somebody just about Zamrock in general recently, and they were just like, this is just like the thing that you should always have playing. It just should always be on, because it just kind of makes everybody a little bit centered and ready to go. But I can't like talk about how much I love the songs on this. There's a lot of songs that are just like declarations. So there's one called Troublemaker, which is probably my favorite song on this, although the recording of it is definitely a little more raw than some of the other songs. It seems like it might have been done at a different time. But like I'm probably going to murder it, but I think one of the lyrics is, the pirates are looking for you, the junta is looking for you, and you're a troublemaker. And it's just like, some people just think that they're troublemakers, but you're not a real fucking troublemaker. You don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, you listen to this, and there's just so many. All right, yes, please tell me more about Zebi Tembo. I would love to know, because I don't know anything about him other than this is an amazing record. So fucking great. Every song on here just feels really good. There's one called Oh Yeah Yeah that's like an instrumental, and it's amazing, but I love his voice, and I love like the harmonies. Everything they do on this is so good. But if you want something that's very fuzzed out, something that, you know, just feels like a great fucking rock record, like, just get
something
this.
about all that Zamrock. It's like, obviously, they were obviously influenced by Hendrix and Cream and this, that, and the other, but it totally sounds like its own thing. You know, it's a little bit ramshackle, and it's definitely got some of the traditional like Zambian music in there as well, and some of the quieter songs. There are
like the more love song type songs, like later on in the record, for sure. You know, I think it's just to hear that, like, okay, we're gonna do a rock record though, like, it's so good. Just like, I don't know, I can't say enough about like how nice this makes me feel when I put it on, and just how much more I would love to know about this. So, you know, tell me more about Chrissy Zebi Tembo.
There's some great compilations too, like the Zamrock collections, like Volume 1 and Volume 2, that has like all the bands, that band Witch, who are kind of well known, the Ngozi family, and there's tons of bands. I think that's kind of like, Ngozi family is sort of the peak for what I've heard. I dabble. I'm not an expert, but the Ngozi family and that record and a couple of others are sort of my favorites.
I just something about his voice and something about these songs, like, you know, it doesn't sound like everything maybe was recorded in the same session, but like, who knows? But the sound quality varies song to song, and I don't even care. It's just so, these songs just make you feel like, especially as a person who tries to write songs, is like, God damn, these are so
Pieces
good.
are a good band. Amanaz is another amazing rock record. Pieces are amazing.
But no, I want to know about this guy. I want to know about him.
That's what I want to know. Every other Zamrock band.
I've heard the other Zamrock things. I just want to know about this guy. So, and my sad Google searching, which is terrible now, hasn't satisfied my curiosity.
It's probably a book about him, or at least a Zamrock book, I would have thought.
Yeah, a podcast or something.
Something. Somebody do it. The person in the comments. Let's do it. Come on. You have all the records. Let's do it. there's a song called Fisherman that's also like super heavy and super great. It's just
His
it's
voice,
so good. Just
his
listen to
voice
it.
is kind of very like fragile and a little bit out of tune sometimes.
I love it. It's
Yeah,
so
that's
good
what makes it
though.
good, right?
And he's like singing these songs about you're a troublemaker, but it's like such a beautiful voice that sort of like he's almost singing a little too
Yes.
high for his register, but it's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, so
Amazing.
good.
Yeah. We could sort of do a whole. Well, yes, there's a lot.
Well, somebody could, not me,
somebody
but-
could, not me.
Yeah.
All right, Scott, what's your next?
All right. Now I wish I brought other stuff, but this is the reissue, and I have the original too. But this is one of my very favorite records that I just try and hype whenever I can. This is Nervous Gender, Music from Hell.
Oh, yeah.
This is recently reissued on Dark Entries, and I've had the original forever, but first time I saw or heard of this band was on a Target video compilation, and I was like a huge fan of Devo and stuff like that because it was the weirdest thing I'd ever seen, you know, at like age 17. This is like what made me want to like get a synthesizer. This is like made me interested in like industrial music or anything like that at all. It's got Don Bowles from the Germs on drums. On some of the Target videos, they have like a 7-year-old named Sven who later got deported, playing drums. I don't know if you guys who's heard of this.
Very fun.
Yeah, I mean this is like so aggressive, and also like Frank, the singer. Now they're a folk artist, great, but just like young, angry, androgynous, like frighteningly queer, especially like you know, Midwestern, you know, little boy like me. But this is just so good, like synthesizers through guitar amps, you know, like clearly the B side they just kind of want to be throbbing gristle, but the A side is very much like, hey, we got Don Bowles from the Germs here, let's take advantage of it. Awesome, like kind of bitchy, kind of mean songs, really good stuff from I believe San Francisco, not LA, early 80s stuff. And they have some stuff later on too. Unfortunately, one of them passed away. But just like, if you like, oh, so yeah, all right. So
I did remember that. I did remember that Rachel showed.
Okay, yeah. Well, no, I'm glad. So those in the know, this is a great record. I'll have to watch to see what other people want to say about it. But yeah, it's fantastic. I'm glad it's reissued. I'm glad people are getting into it.
A classic revisited.
Yeah, you know, some records need to be talked about. That's one that's been on sort of my, ever-ending, expanding list of things that
To do.
To do is a good way of putting it. Yeah, to buy.
Of the non-screamers synth punk bands, I think they're the best.
A member of the Screamers joined later. I mean, they had like a million, you know, lineup changes and everything. And some of the best stuff is just on the Target video appearances. You can see it all on YouTube now.
Much like the Screamers.
What's that? Yeah, same as yeah.
Much like the Screamers.
Yeah. Yeah. Think, my God, like what is the modern equivalent of like the Target video?
There isn't one, which is like unbelievable because if you think about the equipment that people had to carry around, like lug to it to show, and it's like, you know, the amount of effort that went into those Target videos is incredible. You could literally do it all on your phone now. I'm not doing it, so like whatever. Like I can't really talk either, but somebody should be, you know, just like going to shows and, you know, I don't know if the audience has seen it or not, but like those Target video compilations like shaped my taste when I bought like everything that I could and found out as much as I could about them. Because like first time I heard Killing Joke was Target video. Like, you know, all this stuff that like is just now being reissued has been on Target video forever. And there's lots of crap too. There's lots of like rockabilly revival stuff that you're like, oh, okay, every era had total crap.
There used to be some really good ones in Germany in the 90s, like lots of like Trust Video fanzine. there was a whole bunch in Germany. Yeah. I'm forgetting, and they would record all the American touring bands and stuff. But I'm spacing on the name of the one I really like the most at the moment. But I guess that sort of died off in like the 2000s.
I know that like currently, I know Hate 56 does just tons and tons of shows, but a lot of it is like bigger hardcore or like bro hardcore or whatever. They do a lot of different stuff. They don't only do that, but I'm just like trying to think of other people that like really are currently like videoing a lot of things. So
nice.
Yeah, I mean there are a ton of
there's some
and everything, but
there's something special about that VHS kind of grainy look too that you just can't get anymore.
Well, like those were like they were compilations, they were collages, they had it was just had much more of a voice, like a creative voice behind it, which is very cool.
Did you ever see those flip side videos that came out roughly the same time? Yeah, those are pretty amazing too.
Bill is home. Hi, Bill.
Yeah, they're just.
I'm gonna take a quick.
God, I'm trying to remember the name of that German. It'll come to me. Probably like 2 hours later, it'll suddenly pop up.
Well, it's a shame because VHS does wear out. Like it stops if you store it, especially if you store them all next to each other. They stop working.
But just like the amount of very expensive equipment that his business had, like all these like top of the range, massive like video cameras and all the equipment, big business. It took a lot of money to get off the ground. And now you can just do it on a phone, right? And,
the amount of money you'd have to spend on an editing suite in the 80s was insane.
Yeah,
right. And they were really well done too, like properly edited. It cost a lot of money just to edit them, and kind of.
Sounds from Below. We've got a bunch of our band has been on Sounds from Below a bunch. There
you go. Sounds from Below. Okay.
Yeah. We've been on that channel a ton.
Oh yeah.
That's true too. The dubbed. By the time we got on there, we're like speeding up and slowing down, and All right.
The first one I got was the crucifix one, and
that's a classic one, right?
Yeah, but it was like so horrible. But I was like, okay, there's something. It was like watching trying to catch like Cinemax when you don't really have it.
Yeah.
Skinemax.
Yeah.
All right. Last round. I think my last pick is going to elicit the least conversation, but I'm sticking with it. I'm sticking with it. It's been in my pile. I'm not changing it. I'm going with it. So one of my most favorite things to do. Well, one of my most favorite things to do in a record shops, let's put it that way, is the sort of the sort of bargain bin blind buy and being successful. I say that once or twice out of every 10 times you kind of get lucky, At the other 8 times, maybe not so lucky. I think I'm happy with this record. It came out in 2018. It's from Sweden. Terrible band name. Kind of funny album title. And I think this band are actually quite popular. They're quite big, and I think they've been in other bands, and they've kind of done stuff with other famous people. Let's have a look at the record, and if anyone's heard of this, I'll be kind of surprised. I mean, I hadn't heard of them until like last week. The name of the band is Le Big Bird. Right? Le Big Bird. And then, this is just because of
look at that.
Good-looking record. It was super cheap. It's actually not really a bargain bin record. It's like normal priced everywhere. I just lucked out. The name of the record is great. They're from Sweden. This band is from Sweden. The name of the album is Iran, Iraq, Sweden, Iran, Iraq, IKEA.
Oh my God.
First of all, you've got the band name to deal with, then you've got the sort of the funny album title. It's on.
There's a lot going on here.
There's a lot going on.
We do have a lot to discuss.
There's a lot going on before we even started. It's a lot to take in. I know. Punk Slime Recordings. So I put this on, and I was like, God, this is great. I don't know really what this kind of music is, but this is really good. And so I was so excited about it. I sent a link to Jordan and Bill Malloy, because we still have the chat group from episode 47 going.
Okay.
We're still talking. So it's like I sent them a link, and Jordan was like, sounds like 80s pop music. Bill and then the hand was like, oh, this sounds like krautrock or La Dusseldorf, or
I was like, is it Motoric? Like, where
yes,
is
it is. But basically, those two different ears joined together are exactly what this band is. It's like so the two of them together, absolutely. It's like basically, it's like kind of poppy, psychedelic, electronica, but also kind of krautrock, and especially the first song has that. Was it Motoric? That sort of driving beat, and it's kind of quite a long song. It's kind of super poppy. It really is sort of like early New Order meets La Dusseldorf, or very poppy, very catchy, big record.
That's like really cute.
I mean, maybe it was very cheap. I was like, this isn't going to be very good. I was like, this is really, really good. I'm really enjoying this record, and it's got to go in the pile. I've got to talk about it. And I actually did the grin of victory when I put it on. I was like, yes, this is a great record.
Really good.
Grin of victory. I think it's great. There's a member of like Spaceman 3 is on one track.
Oh, okay.
Which is like a more like psychedelic. There's a little bit of sort of psychedelic pop in there too, but for the most part, it's like they said, 80s pop meets krautrock.
There you go.
I'd probably like that.
I mean,
I feel like I would too.
Yeah.
For sure. I would like
I was determined to talk about this because it's like no one else is going to. So
I will find Iran, Iraq.
And it's been reissued.
Yeah.
So it's already been reissued like at least once. And I think they're quite popular. I think they're sort of quite big in Sweden. And I think
the title is troubling to me, but okay. I mean, I'll give it a shot. So
I didn't look into this, but apparently they've done stuff with Chrissy Hind from the Pretenders.
Oh.
Weird.
Yeah. So there you go.
I love her. Also a little weird.
Yeah. So I'm interested to sort of check out what they did with her, whether she sings on a song or plays guitar on a song. The worst band name of the episode. Well, maybe. Like Big Bird. Iran.
I like. Is that like a marketing choice? I'm curious about that. Like, what is?
I think they might have been pretending to be French, but it doesn't really work. I don't know.
But how is Big Bird French?
The beginning of it does. LES.
The less, sure.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows what they were thinking? But
I'm intrigued by your description of it. The name leaves me wondering, but I will try. it.
Derek seems to have heard it. This is what he says. This is Derek's take. The first song sounds like it could be on the 16 Candles soundtrack.
Oh, I fucking love that.
There you go. He's better at this than me. But the second is Gothy Go-Go's.
This is like everything in my wheelhouse.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Everything I want to hear.
Yeah, I am going to listen to this after the show.
Thank you. Yeah, I really wanted to. I was like scared. So I was like, nah, this is like not that interesting. But there you go.
You gotta tag this YouTube.
You have to go with your gut. Like
yes, exactly. Because actually, I almost heard a record that Scott he talked about the band. He mentioned it, and I almost pulled it off the shelf. I'm going to save that. St. Louis band.
We'll talk about it post. In post.
Oh, okay.
Right. That's my last pick. Lay Big Bird. Iran, Iraq. I can't. Jeff, what's your last pick?
I was struggling with my last pick, but
me too.
I don't know. I feel like I've seen one of this band's other records has sort of gotten the treatment on this show about how good it is. Like a record that's not necessarily seen as one of their better ones. So this might be a boring pick. I don't know, but I think this record's fucking great. It's Music for Pleasure by The Damned.
Oh,
nice, man.
cute. I like that.
A bit more, definitely.
Yeah. So when I was first getting into The Damned ages ago, this was trashed kind of universally. People hated it. I think the band hated it. I think the Nick Mason production is fucking great. Like the drums are so heavy. The songs are not very smart. It's sort of like you can tell it's the leftovers from Damn Damn Damned. Like the songs are not as good, but it sounds so fucking good. and even though they're cast-offs from their earlier material or from like the first album, they're still really good songs. I think "Don't Cry Wolf" is great. "One Way Love," "Stretcher Case." The one place where they kind of strike out, I think, is the song "Idiot Box," which is an attack on the band Television. And
not correct, but okay.
Not one of the better Damned songs. But it's got like, you know how the first album has the Stooges cover.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
This one doesn't have a Stooges cover, but it has a Stooges ripoff, the song "You Know," which is one of like, it's like a long jam with a sax solo all over it.
Okay.
And what else is good on here? "Stretcher Case" is great. "Creep" is great. The song I wish they put on here that is really missing from all their albums, I think it was a single. It's called "Sick of Being Sick," which is a song from this era, and it's on the Peel Sessions. And I think it was a single, but did not make it onto this album. That I think would have been the best song on this. But it's the only Damned album with 2 guitar players.
Ooh.
And so it's generally like a lot heavier, and the drum sound is like more like the drum sound you'd have on a Black Sabbath record or something like that.
There's the Nick Mason factor, the powerful drummer.
Having the guy from Pink Floyd produce your record isn't necessarily a bad idea, because it just I think these songs, if these songs had been recorded the same way as Damn Damn Damn, they would have been terrible. It would have been would have been a bad record. But anyway, that's my final pick. Not the most interesting one, but
it's a great pick.
Oh, I like it. I'm a Damn stan.
I figured it would be a good choice after Elton Motello, which is another semi-related, because Brian James is the guitarist on this. And this is the last Brian James record. I don't think they never did anything else with him, right? I don't think so.
It's funny because like back in the sort of old days, I and a couple of my friends, we just assumed that was the third Damned record, just because it's kind of getting a bit. Do you know what I mean? It's like the third record, like slump. But then when we found out, we're like, really? That came in between like those other 2 records. It was kind of strange. And then I think the artwork too didn't sort of do them.
Yeah, that's terrible artwork.
Yeah. But
like, how much of that is marketing versus like their choices, the record company choices versus the band choices? I don't know.
It was on Stiff, so I can't imagine that Stiff was driving a hard bargain with the LP cover.
Yeah, that's true.
This was probably someone in the Damned probably thought this was a good idea.
It probably was like
someone in the Damned, tap in, let us know.
It kind of looks kind of sort of a bit futuristic for that time.
I think it was cool, but the problem, like the front and the back covers are so incongruent, and then there were just a million records that came to look like that. I don't know where it sits in like the miasma of bullshit that looked like that.
Yeah,
but maybe at the time, I could see that looking cool to me, and then like years later being like, "What have I done?"
That's great.
Not that part. That part sucked.
I was going to say it is Barney Bubbles. I don't think it's his best work.
This is not great.
James, you're wrong. I'm sorry. You're great, but no.
Yeah,
no.
Gordon likes the cover art too. There's a Hawkwind record.
Of course, Jordan loves it.
Contrarians. There's like a Hawkwind record that has like a similar kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't love that either.
Which also might have been a Barney Bubbles thing. I don't know. So, there. Even Rachel likes it.
All right. Well, we are the only people. We're the only people who don't like this album cover, apparently.
Listen, we are okay. We'll stand together. In the grand scheme of things, I don't know how much that matters.
But it's a great sounding record, and that's all that matters.
Nick Mason.
Oh yeah.
I love that because obviously the Damned were very influenced by Pink Floyd, so it must have been a huge thing for them to have Nick Mason produce their record.
Yeah.
All right, Sarah, what's your last pick?
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go with the various artists. VA.
Okay. All right.
Electrocute your cock. You can see the Danger House like shirt here. I'm not like pointing at the right way. I like took a few notes from the internet because it's been a wild couple weeks for me, but shameless, raw, and annoying KBD enthusiasts will love. And yes, Killed by Death is one of my favorite things ever. And there are a lot of really fucking annoying songs on this. And I love every one of them. You know, it's tough when you have a, you know, compilation like you were saying, Mike. There's so many things that you can or can't talk about, and there's definitely going to be some like duds. You know, that's just how it goes. I feel like one of my favorite punk songs, and it has a lot of regrettable lyrics, is a band called The Delinquents, and they have a song called "Do You Have a Job for a Girl Like Me?" And it basically, I'm like, I don't know that I could like. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. There's a line that says something like, I burned out my brain on LSD. Do you have a job for a girl like me? And I rarely have I felt truly in my soul, but that struck home. So yes, there are so many good songs on this. Electrocute Your Cock is a song by Vom, which some people may know eventually became the Angry Samoans. Yeah, Mom. Yes. Electrocute Your Cock is just such a great song. And as somebody who sings in a band, like the way that you can hear when they were recording this song, the guy was like working out the lyrics at that time because he's a little bit off on the time. And I love it so much. You know, and electrocute your cock. Please, everyone, please do that at least once in your life. Just enjoy it, maybe, or not, but then you'll know it's not for you. But I feel like there's so many good life lessons in this record. Just please go ahead and check it out. It's great. I'm going to tell you about a few of the other like songs I think are standouts here. There's a band called Ads or ADS, and they have a song called Testing. And I was working on a radio show for a internet radio show that kind of folded. And that was like my theme song because it says testing, testing radio. What goes wrong? And it's like great. It's just very catchy. There's like great melodies in it. Everything about it is really great. There's a band called Electric Vomit, and there's a song called Never Ends, but the riff in that song is so good. It's just like one of these treats of like hearing all these old punk songs from like the late 70s, early 80s from the US, but like some other places too. I think there was like a song from Denmark and maybe a song from the Philippines. And like just hearing that is just so reassuring in some ways, just to like know that like there has been this undercurrent of punk for a long time that many people have felt, and it's great. There's also a song by the Testers, which is so great. I love the Testers, and I actually got to see them play at one of the Blackout Fests like several years ago, Sonny Vincent. So amazing. There's just great songs on this. There's a song called USA NRK, which I think is like NRK, the like take off on anarchy, by a band called The Art Project. And it's really fucking great and funny. There's a lot of keyboard punk on here, which I also love. This is definitely great. Check this out. If you can get your hands on it, do it. I love it. I listen to it a lot. It's great.
The Testers just came on a Spotify playlist with me and Amanda in the car the other day, and I was like, "Can this be?" Yeah, it still surprised me to hear stuff like that, you know, on Spotify or whatever.
I think that this is something that, like, it's just sort of like how Consensus Madness is on Spotify. Like, this is on Spotify. You know, it's just like somebody was like, I'm getting the thing and we're going on there. Like, it's not because because like that's our choice. It's just because this is how people listen to it, sort of. So yeah.
Well, it's also funny, like I know somebody who is involved with like a bidding war basically to reissue VOM stuff, or maybe it was a journalist or no, I'm pretty sure it was a VOM stuff, but yeah, I just can't picture being like a 50-year-old guy and being like, great news, honey, electrocute your cocks and start earning royalties for me.
Get some royalties are coming in.
Royalties are great. Hey, I'm talking about it on this show. This is not funding anyone's retirement. Okay.
No, I know. No, we're talking like, you know, like I'm gonna get $1,000.
That tester set was so good. Backed by Rocket from the Crypt. What a fucking great.
I showed that record. I never knew it existed. About a few.
You showed this one?
No, the testers with Rocket from the Crypt, which I never knew existed. It was like, what the hell? It's like that. Anyway, that was a great record. But yeah, testers.
The testers were, oh god, it's just like one of those things where there was like that confluence of like early punk with like people who are super like great at songwriting. I'm not trying to be shitty about punk. I'm not saying that, but just like there was like an era where there was like a lot of people who didn't like make it in other areas of songwriting, like wrote these such incredible songs, and the testers are a great example of that.
I guess because they grew up on a different kind of music.
Yeah.
It was about songs.
No, I feel like it's like American like pub rock. I think of like Slaughter and the Dogs or something like that, where it's like they just wanted to write songs that would get on the radio, and this is what was going on at the time, and they happen to be great.
Yeah. Yeah, so good. So good. Yeah. Anyways, please like try this. Give it a shot. You can find it on Spotify, you can find it on YouTube. I don't Spotify, only YouTube, and it's on there, but just so good. Nice. And Danger House is great too. Check it out.
I will. Sounds interesting.
Sounds cute. That's cute.
All right, Scott. Last pick of the day. What you got?
I said I wasn't going to do this one, but I got some texts.
You do it.
My popular demand. Two of me mates.
There's like fan demand. Do the thing.
Let me dig it out here. So there's a good story behind this. This is the Record Store Day version of From Enslavement to Obliteration.
Mm-hmm. Look at that movie strip. Oh my god.
What's that?
Very fancy.
Yeah, no, I mean, everybody knows this record. It's not, there's nothing to say about it because everybody has heard it, I would assume. I mean, I love this record. I had it on CD since I was in high school. And my coworker, who's like a Disney guy, was going to be in line for a Taylor Swift record on Record Store Day. And he's like, you like music, don't you? Do you like vinyl records? Is there anything you'd like me to get? And I like look through the list.
Hey, when you're there.
Yeah, exactly. And this is at work, so like, I don't tell anybody about my life. So I was like, if you don't mind, I would kind of like this napalm. And he was like, oh my god, I'll check easy listening.
Yeah.
Like, LOL, text. But I do fucking love this record. It's my favorite Napalm Death record. I think it is like, Scum is fine and Harmony Corruption is fine, but this is the one where like every song has something that I will never forget. Like the drumming is insane, the riffs are insane. I think like they still, in my mind, like sometimes the production, I'm just like, what the hell's going on here? But the production is like, I just love it, you know. And maybe it's because it's grown on me, but I love the record.
It's pretty good. A lot of the UK records from that time didn't sound very good. They did a pretty good job with the production on that one, I want to say.
Yeah. It was a good thing that they didn't record the same studio as Scum. Which bitch, yeah. Which bitch has such a checkered past.
Checkered history, yes.
Yeah, I think of like
that Unseen Terror record sounds so awful. And Unseen Terror they sound like they would have been an all right band.
Oh, they had the studio had like the new electronic drum kit in the studio. Like, hey fellas, why not use this, new technology?
Yeah, I know. Like in the Heresy reissues, they talk about how like basically like there was digital compression now, and they talk about how like the compression kind of ruined the sound of the band because they did want to make everything sound like
it
does now with Triggered. Yeah, like everything's triggered and sounds exactly the fucking same.
I I mean, I appreciate that, but yes.
Yeah.
That I do like that record. I haven't played it for like a long time, but when that came out, it was kind of mind blowing. Even more so. Well, Scum was more mind blowing because it was the first one, but then that one came out. It's like, you know, the slow like Swans influence sort of intro and all that kind of stuff, and a bit of sort of more variety and like heavier, right? Heavier, like
Yeah, I mean, Scum is like the punk record. This is the metal record for sure.
Yeah, the drumming on that, like hearing that record, like pushed me to like not just like the blast beats, but the drumming on that record that's not blast beats, that's just sort of like fast punk beats, really like pushed me to like speed up like my playing, and like I took a lot of inspiration from like the songs like Mentally Murdered that have mid-tempo parts on them where it's like,
that's
wow.
the best record from that era is the 12-inch.
Yeah. Like the drumming on the song Mentally Murdered, it just has incredible drumming that when he's not playing the blast beats, the drumming is just so good.
And then seeing videos of him, like you're like, okay, surely he's like not really doing this when you hear it. And then you see the videos and they're like, oh my god, he's doing that harder than I ever could imagine.
Yeah.
Quite a sight to see Napalm Death back then. Before they up until that record. I mean, I celebrate almost the entire catalog.
I celebrate the entire catalog.
Definitely.
Fair enough. You know what? If I'm gonna like give it to anybody, Napalm Death will get it.
Yeah, I celebrate most of their catalog.
Yeah.
Diatribe, I think is not.
Wait, wasn't there one of the guys did something with Marky Smith from the fucking fall? Like, there's
Shane has done tons of stuff. Like he's a big Cardiacs fan, and
you can't listen. Everybody just needs to bow down to Napalm Death. Okay.
Was Diatribes the mediocre record? I can't remember which one.
That's probably the worst one from the sort of the logo change era.
Yeah. But Utopia Banished is a good record.
Right. Inside the Torn Apart is great. People hate it at the time, but I think it's a great record.
Enemy of the Music Business is good.
Ripper.
Yeah,
I forget the name of their latest one, but I gave it a chance, and it was another one where I was like, the production on here is something I have to adjust to.
It's that
you know what, Scott? That is the best way to describe that feeling. Because I've felt that many times, and I have not ever said it that well. But yeah, I have to adjust to this.
It's the modern sort of relapse record, like generic metal production.
Yeah.
That just every kind of sounds the same.
Maybe. Yeah.
They kind of fall into the trap a bit with the new records, but
hey, Relapse is putting it out. Godspeed. I don't care. It's fine. It's Napalm Death. Let them go. Let them do what they need to do.
They're on Central Media though, but they still have that sort of like generic. Press this button to make it sound like this style. That's what it sounds like, you know.
Yeah.
All right. What a fun episode it's been. A great time.
Under 2 hours.
We're going to clock in at just about the 2 hour mark.
We were trying to be efficient. We want to be efficient.
Yes. I think 2 hours is kind of the perfect length.
Perfect time. And then we'll have some.
And Napalm Death did steal the title Mentally Murdered from Icons of Filth.
Yeah. Yes.
That's okay.
Yep.
Icons of Filth would be like, thanks.
That kind of shows how cool of a band they were, you know?
Yeah.
Let me.
5 or 6 more if we want to go.
I missed it. I missed what Rachel said. I missed it.
Oh, yeah. She was, did they get the title of Mentally Murdered from the Icons of Filth?
Look at her! You know what Rachel knows. Rachel always knows. She always knows.
Let me.
Icons of Filth. Best. When I heard them on Welcome to 1984, I was like, oh man, I got to get all of this. And then the rest of it, not quite as good.
Yeah, thank you, Scott.
Let me announce next week's show. One of the, I was going to say combatants. That's not the correct word. One of the
combatants is fine. It's okay.
One of the contestants.
Contestants.
No prize money. Bill's in the chat.
Here's your prize.
Al Pist from the Pist.
Hey,
good time. Eric Good.
Chicago in a few weeks.
There you go.
To the Pist show in Chicago.
It's the last show of 2024. Episode 99. You're going to have to wait till next year for episode 100.
I might have my records by then. Let me know. Let me know. I probably already have. I'm gonna get like 20 records in the next week. It'll be fine.
Cool. Christmas is coming. All right. Cheers, everyone. Have a Bailey's.
Cheers. Thanks for time.
Weekend. Until next time.
Awesome.
Drink Bailey's.
Cheers.
Stay.
Happy holidays. Wait. I wanted to say one thing.
Wait. Go.
I'm just gonna fucking do it. Wait, I'm gonna talk about these Total Con records. One is red and one is green. Happy holidays. Happy holidays.
Cheers.
Cheers.
We bid you adieu. Stay healthy.